Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestle Debate and to another edition of Raw out of 10, the last Monday Night Raw before the Elimination Chamber, so it's all popping off, lots going off on the show. Big card of course for an Elimination Chamber, it's in Saudi Arabia, and so what can you expect really? But yeah, let's get straight into it. And we kicked off the show with Bobby Lashley and MVP, and they were convinced that Lashley would win at the Elimination Chamber. Several others came out to protest before Riddle joined him as well. Riddle rambled on. I'm not even going to go to discuss what he was rambling on about, but said he wanted to get Lashley in a toga before Austin Theory came out and talked about things he learned from Vince. AJ Styles was out next, and he said he would be heading to WrestleMania. Lashley fired back and said that they were all dreaming and that he was the only one that would survive the chamber. Not even Brock Lesnar would do it. Lesnar walked out on the queue and joined the other lads in the ring before hanging up his coat and hat on Austin Theory. Lashley and Lesnar were having a stare down before Theory attacked Lesnar from behind and ate two German suplexes in the F5 for his troubles, and the other superstars got cleared out. Typical put Brock Lesnar over. It's kind of a predictable segment, you know, it is what it is. Before we got the Dirty Dogs versus the Street Profits, Ford and Ziggler kicked off the match, and the Dirty Dogs isolated Montez right off the bat. Ciampa was in commentary after Dolph's visit to NXT and were made and Dawkins came to get the advantage, wiping both out. Rude then got a spinebuster for a near fall before Ciampa and Dolph had a showdown at ringside. Dolph then faked a super kick before Ciampa threw a drink in his face. In the ring, Montez tagged in and got the frog splash on Rude for the W. After the match, Ziggler hit the super kick before missing a move on Dawkins and fled the arena with Rude. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It was okay. The match was fine. I kind of like the Ciampa interference, continuing that stuff from NXT. But, on the whole, it's just an average TV match. Riddle's toga party was underway backstage on Raw. Randy was literally hiding from them, preparing for his match with Rollins. Kevin Owens was backstage on Raw and said that he hated Texans and made fun of Texans before he got Damian Priest v AJ Styles. Hi Stone Cold, by the way. AJ was caught in a submission move early on and managed to break free before Priest got a near fall for a backbreaker. AJ was in a tussle but came out with a Pele kick before sending Priest over the ropes. Priest dropped AJ on the apron twice before dragging him back into the ring for a roll-up, getting an easy pin. This was very quick. I was expecting it to be a great match, but it didn't turn out to be that. I'll give it 6 out of 10, but kind of underwhelming. Before, Alexa Bliss was still at the therapist's office and said she was happy. Alexa asked for the music to be stopped, and the therapist gave her what looked like a deconstructed Lily. Apparently they were pieces recovered from a real Lily. He then brought out an intact Lily doll and said that he had an idea. Before he moved on to Omos squash match against Cedric and Benjamin, he was tossing around. Omos still powered through despite a bit of a resistance, hitting chokeslams on both men to score the easy victory. Dana Brooke and Reggie were then on a date at a restaurant, while Cesaro and Tamina were there at a different table, 24/7 stuff. It's just kind of what we have to expect with the 24 division. Silly shit, but just going back to that Omos match, it's basically a squash. I'd kind of like to see him doing a bit more before WrestleMania, but it is what it is. Overall, I'll give all of that stuff a 6 out of 10. Lita was out next for the Becky Lynch contract signing, followed by Becky, who was in a pink get-up. Becky sat down and told Lita not to do it, and she was hurt by the fact that her teenage idol was wanting to fight at WrestleMania. Lisa said that her comeback was not just for one match. She felt that she had a whole run in her. Lynch was furious as Lita signed a contract and threatened WWE legend before signing a contract. Lynch then tossed the paper at her before walking out of the ring. It's kind of what we've seen before. Really, it was a decent enough segment, but I kind of really liked a bit more to it. I'm not going to lie, but Lita v Lynch is still a dream match, so it's going to sell itself either way. Before it was a gauntlet match, Nikki v Ripley to start off things early on. Nikki trapped Rhea on the apron and clobbered her for a bit. Back in the ring, Nikki locked in a submission hold before getting some big kicks in. Rhea recovered and got some big clotheslines in and hit the riptide. Nikki tried for the top rope, but Rhea caught her with the riptide again, picking up the win. Liv Morgan was out for number 2. Liv tried an Eddie roll up before Ripley caught her. Morgan was able to get out of her finisher, but Ripley got a super kick and a riptide, picking up the win. Doudrop was out next. But Rhea came back from early dominance with a drop kick. They traded strikes before Rhea still managed to hit the riptide and pick up yet another victory. And then it was Bianca Belair who was out next. Ripley was caught in a submission. Rhea got a huge missile drop kick before trying for the cloverleaf. Bianca got out of it and managed to hit the KOD for the win. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. This was a really good match. Had everything to put Ripley over. Belair got the win as well. I kind of don't know where it's going to go because I was expecting Belair to win. But we'll see. I kind of trust the process because this was decent. Back Backstage, Riddle's Toga party was cut short when Alpha Academy wiped him out and attacked him. Back in the restaurant, R-Truth and Tozawa and Tamina and attacked Dana Brute, but she managed to get away. Reggie asked Dana if they wanted to extend the relationship. Brooke said no. Reggie won a 24/7 title. Fair play, mate. Before we got the Alpha Academy versus the Mysterios, the match kicked off during the commercials, and we returned to see the Mysterios in control with Miz on commentary. Ray was isolated in the ring, but managed to tag Dominic in. Dom got some big suplexes before sending Gable out of the ring. Ray tagged back in and took out Otis. Back towards the match, Ray got a big kick and a near fall before taking suplex. Ray sent Gable up for the 619 and tagged in Dom for a double finisher before Miz ran a distraction at ringside. Ray took the Miz out, but the distraction let Gable pick up the win. After the match, Miz and Maurice got inside and hit a skull-crushing finale on Dominic and Ray to get in control and end the segment on top. This was a weird segment, but kind of setting up for the match at Chamber. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Next up, Alexa Bliss was done with her treatment, and the therapist said that she would be fine just as long as a replica Lily doll was around her. She then walked out of the clinic and mentioned that there was one spot in the women's elimination chamber and she was going to take it. Not opposed to that, so predicted in the predictions video that'll be out later this week. Can't be asked to re-edit it, so yeah, you'll get me being right as usual. Before we got Seth Rollins v Randy Orton, Rollins was sent into the corner before he unloads on Randy, got an earful. Randy was sent outside with a kick before Rollins unloaded on him. Randy then sent Rollins over the ropes and sent him into the announcer's desk as the match continued. Randy then set out for a draping DDT, but Rollins hit back with a break. After a break, Randy hit a massive suplex before Rollins missed the stomp and the pedigree before getting a draping DDT again following the RKO. The Alpha Academy then came out to stop the match between Riddle, chased them out, and then RK Bro came in too, and then Orton barely beat the count, returning to the ring, but Rollins used this distraction to pick up the win. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It was kind of chaotic at the end, but still decent match, still big match for the Raw, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Overall, Raw this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. It's a weird episode of Raw this. There wasn't any actively bad bits, but it wasn't any really high troughs either. So it was just a continuously flat line really, no peaks, no troughs. But for Raw, considering we've seen quite a lot of down bits over the last few years, I wouldn't say it was dreadful. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know thoughts, comments down below. If you want us to link description below for daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel on screen, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.